Welcome to the Dark Souls 3 All Achievements playthrough. This is going to be part 5 of our sub-stream, if you will, where we are grinding for Covenant items. This is the most miserable part of the run here, of the playthrough. Currently, we're going to be going for Concord, proof of a Concord kept. I always get those orders incorrect. We took care of our sunlight metals several days ago. I don't know, sometime last week. I don't remember exactly when. We then did our Wolf's Blood Swordgrass, and we did a little bit of work on Vertebra Shackles. Now, I have not been streaming the entirety of my time grinding for these items. Wolf's Blood Swordgrass, not all of that was on stream, of course, and definitely not the Vertebra Shackles. You maybe saw me get 2 or 3 on stream. During some free time, you know, again, I don't want to be boring you guys with absurd hours upon hours of grinding for these items, which is why I've been doing it off stream in my free time, when I have nothing better to do. And I don't really think it's going to add much to our videos here, this stream series. For the Vertebra Shackles, I was spending some time after the last stream considering a new build, which I ultimately ended up deciding on. I will show you that in a moment. And I spent a lot of time testing that build in PvP, just going out behind Pontiff Sullivan's bonfire/boss arena onto that little balcony where people love to do duels and fight clubs and whatnot. And I just practiced a whole bunch with it, and then I think like the last 8 shackles, somebody from the True Achievements community asked if I was still looking to get them, and so we boosted them, the remainder of them, together. So that's how we got to those 30. So we already got our Pale Tongues, as you may remember, through the farming for the Wolf's Blood Swordgrass, because those Dark Wraiths that you fight early on drop them. So we managed to get way more than the 10 that we need, and of course I used 2 when settling on what my new build is going to be. So we're going for proof of a Concord kept now. It's a real fucking pain in the ass. We have 6, you need 30. These things are very difficult to acquire through PvP at this point. As if I understand the way that it works correctly, so you need to be a part of the Darkmoon, Blade of the Darkmoon Covenant, which we are, of course. So that means we can get summoned into the world of someone who is being invaded. However, the person's world that we get summoned into has to be a member of the Way of the Blue Covenant. It can't just be any old person that gets invaded. They have to be a Way of the Blue member, or Blue Sentinel, whatever the name is. So at this point, that is definitely dwindling. It was much easier super early on to the game's release when you had a giant influx of players, you know, under the banner of pretty much every Covenant at all times. There were just so many people playing and doing whatever they wanted and not even realizing what they were doing, so it was much easier to get that done. However, now it is not. In addition to that PvP aspect, you can't farm these Silver Knights in Anor Londo. They drop these, but the drop rate is incredibly rare. Only one of... So I believe you pick up 1 or 2 on the... and I think I've got 1 through PvP so far. And I've only had 2 PvP instances where I've been transported to another person's world. The first one had 2 people standing in that fight club area that I mentioned briefly before. There was a regular dude and a red invader. I wasn't really sure what was going on, so I just kind of stood there, and they were just kind of standing there themselves. And then all of a sudden, the red invader ran off of a cliff and killed himself, which netted me a proof of a Concord kept. It was very gracious of them. And then the other time, I got summoned into someone's world to protect them. Immediately after appearing in their world, it said, "Error, you are returning to your world now." So I have had 2 PvP instances with this, and one of them did absolutely nothing, and the other one I got really lucky. So we're just going to do a little bit of farming on stream here. I want to have each item shown on stream for a little while. Of course, as I've said, it's not going to be the entire farming. That's going to take way too fucking long. After that, the last item is human dregs. These are, I believe, acquired in a similar PvP nature. Yeah, we'll invade worlds ourselves. And we're also going to be running through the castle of Anor Londo, where the where Aldrich's boss fight is, because if you kill the deacon enemies in there, excuse me, they have what's it called? They have the ability to drop those. So with that being said, we're gonna move on to what my build looks like now. This is me. It's real fancy looking. I'm using the Helm of Favor, and then the remainder of this is the brass set, just because I was fat rolling if I was in the entire Favor set. I have the plus 10 Blessed Lothric Greatsword. This thing hits like a fucking truck. Just using Grass Crest Shield. I don't really actually use it, I'm mainly two-handing the weapon, and then I got my Saint's Talisman up to plus 10. And yeah, we're just smashing away with this thing. It's pretty potent. That's basically it, I guess. I can go here. I mean, you can see my two-handed AR right now for this is 693 damage. It's pretty brutal. My faith is almost up at 50 at this point. And my strength and dex are just at the numbers required to wield this sword two-handed. This is definitely a regret of mine. When I was doing some of the PvP for Vertebra Shackles, I wasn't streaming, and I was surprisingly holding my own. I complain a lot about being, or not necessarily complain, I just state all the time that I'm really bad at PvP. And in one of those sessions where I was sitting down, where I maybe did like an hour and a half of PvP, I was, you know, I was pretty proud of myself. I was doing really well. I'd say, I don't know, I probably was winning at least 3/4 of my fights, which was sweet. I even had a fight club where I took down 4 people in a row. There was me, 4 other dudes, and then the host, and I killed all 4 people. Not the host, because after I killed the final person, we all got sent back. Or no, it was only 3, I'm sorry. It was 3 and then the host, so that was, I was thinking 4. So 3 phantoms that the host summoned, and then myself, so 5 people total. Anyway, so there's 2 options for farming this. I'll do this first one here right now. You can go up these stairs here. What I like to do is pop a rusted coin. Wait for this guy to do that, so that I can do that. And 2-shot him as such. I have a fucking insane amount of Titanite shards now from doing this too. As well as large shards. And you get this red-eyed one here is a little trickier than the others. So he's going to take 3 hits if we're doing the R2, R1, R1 combo like that. So that is unfortunately it. That's the path. There is an alternate way to do this, which I will do this on camera, but I haven't actually tried this personally. This will be my first time. I just want to add that I can't fucking wait to be done with this. This is the most painful farming, without a doubt. Shit, yeah, see, this is the problem. You gotta fucking take this thing down, so we have to move it. It's a longer path. You get 6 Silver Knights as opposed to 3. And I'm not really interested in doing the math. I don't care. I don't give a shit. I don't know how I would calculate it, to be honest, as well. What you're basically doing is going down to kind of the arches that bring you up further this way. This is going to grant us access to, like I said, oh no. So yeah, so you gotta go down twice, don't you? Yeah, fuck this. We're not even gonna bother with this. I think we have to push this thing down twice in order to get as low as we need to go. Right? How does one get up there? Or do we stay up top? Yes, we stay up top, actually. That's what it is. No, we don't. Yeah, so you know what, I don't know, this has got me really confused, and this is probably embarrassingly obvious. So obviously we don't want to go there. Yeah, I truly don't remember how we get up this way, initially. I really don't. I'm gonna try to solve this here, because I feel like a real dummy. Must be through here then, right? Where else would we come from? Yeah, I'm just a moron, okay. Alright, so now that I finally figured my shit out, this would be the other pathway. That didn't work. Yeah, there's a greater volume of Silver Knights if you go this way. God damn it. Okay. I don't think we're gonna be doing this path. Jesus Christ. I haven't even been using a rusted coin, so this is even more wasteful of our time. shit, it was the wrong bonfire. I haven't played in a few days too, so I'm not really... clearly not as focused as I should be. Let's see if I can level up here. I also came to another conclusion recently. We will be doing the DLC after we have finished farming for Covenant items.
Ashen.
Because I want to start Bloodborne sooner, I don't really want to do an entire new playthrough of this game after doing, you know, these 3 playthroughs that we're doing for this run here. Just so that I can play the DLC on a new character. If anything, I can just, you know, change my build yet again and go into the DLC fresh, but on this character, because we're here. You know, we're going to have everything else done, so we can blaze through, enjoy the DLCs to the best of our ability, and then finish the run. That's going to be the plan. That's what I'm sticking with. So yeah. Hopefully everyone's cool with that. Means yes, we're going to be putting off when this run actually gets finished, but I think it makes the most sense. It has been nice doing this, I guess, because we've kind of get a good chunk of souls doing this. We're able to level up. Plus, I'm pretty sure that the suggested level for going into the DLC is, or the second DLC at least, is 120. First one I think is 80, and then the next one is 120, so I think hopefully we'll do fine with those. And I know they're supposed to be very challenging. So this is basically it. It's fucking tedious and just as little fun to do as it is to watch. Yeah, it's just that the progress is real slow. These drop rates are abysmal. Might be worth it just to go do these 3 and then take the stairs down and do the other 6. Might do that. These weapons served me pretty well, like I said. It's cool having a giant fuck-off weapon again. I haven't played like this in a while. Why did I do that? I don't know. Okay. That was smart. Glad I got that out of my system. Alright, so we'll head up the stairs, kill these 3, and then take the lift down to fight the others. Oh, timing was off there because I popped that coin so late. just fucking up all over the place here. You know, maybe it's also fairly tempting to go into the DLCs now instead of after we farm. The reason being is that if we still have the Covenant active, you see how the icon's flashing. That means that it's you know, at the ready to ship me off into people's worlds to help them out. So if I go through both DLCs with that active, you know, I might get pulled away a couple times, as opposed to just running around and doing this constantly. A good way to pass some time, I suppose. Who knows, maybe what we'll do is we'll do this for a little while now, and then take a break, and come back and get the DLCs going tonight. It's afternoon for me right now. The cool thing too here is that their armor's a piece. Get some good souls out of just selling all the armor you end up acquiring through this. Wrong way. When I got my PS4, I also picked up a cop watch to play with a friend of mine, which I'm having a lot of fun with. So, if you're a PS4 user and play Overwatch, and looking for a fairly new player to play with, feel free to hit me up. My network name is the same as my Xbox Live gamer tag, which is Dungeon X Lurker, all one word. Apparently Dungeon Space Lurker was already taken on the Xbox. But when I searched for their name, nothing came up. And apparently, any sort of Microsoft account can't use that. It's not just Xbox. And it could be possible that someone made that their Zune name. Everybody remember Zune? I mean, I do, but that thing was fucking garbage. So anyway, moral of that story is that I had to add that stupid X because I couldn't also do Dungeon Lurker one word. That was also taken, so I'm like, you know, it's dumb. I didn't expect anybody would have also thought up this goofy name that I decided for myself. Let's get this guy up here. Too early. I'm sure how many shards I have. I mean, at this stage in the game, you're gonna have a lot of shards anyway. But, we have 99, because you can only hold 99, but I have 352 fucking Titanite shards stored right now because of just doing this. 62 large shards in storage right now. It's crazy. I mean, I remember that this was also the one that took me the longest on my old profile. And that was back when this game was way more popular. That was, you know, within 3 months of this thing having been released. Because this game came out, I had 4 days with it, and then went on a week-and-a-half vacation. I was gone for 10 days, and then came back to it after those 10 days. You know, played it pretty much every fucking day. I don't know why or how I forgot to pop a coin there. I think it's just like exhaustion from doing this. Like, even though this is the first time I've touched this game in, oh god, I don't know, 4 days, 5 days, who knows. Just like get that kind of like, you know how muscle memory works. It's almost like a muscle fatigue, like muscle memory fatigue. As soon as I start just having to look at this, hit these same buttons every single time, just make mistakes so easily because you're so sick of it. Oh, also with this build, would be using Sacred Oath, but we don't get that until we turn in our Sunlight Metals. So I have Deep Protection on right now. We could go turn in our Sunlight Metals now, but I think I explained this earlier on in the Covenant streams that what I want to do is turn in all of the Covenant items at the same time in what will be part 12 of, you know, the official stream, because like I said, these are just kind of the sub-streams. Hey, there's our first proof for the day. That takes us up to 7. Yeah, as I was saying, I think that's going to be a good way to kick it off, is to start part 12, turn in all that stuff, get all those spells and rings that we're going to get from having finished farming all of these. We're not going to do this for too much longer. I think I might give this another 10, 15 minutes at the most. I keep forgetting to take the lift down. Like I said, that muscle memory, I'm just so used to doing this. Am I looking for rusted coins as well? Still have 48, okay. Completely forgot what I was saying. Yeah, so we'll turn in all those rings and spells, and that's how we're going to kick off, going back to the achievement run. And of course, that will be post-DLC as well. Oh, I was also saying, yeah, 10, 15 minutes at the most for this. This is boring as shit. I'm still going to keep doing this after I end the stream in 10 or 15 minutes. No sense in anybody having to watch more of this. I mean, really, you know, 1 or 2 runs is more than enough to have to sit and look at before you want to gouge your eyes out. Every so often, once how many? Okay, so 80. Say I can level up twice now. So every so often, if I can get, you know, 1 or 2 levels out of the amount of souls I have, I'll go back to Firelink. Let's do this. We'll go down here, and then we'll travel to Firelink when we use our coiled sword before we go back up here. So these DLC runs are going to be blind for me. I just purchased them 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago at the most, probably 2. Never played them. I've seen bits and pieces of them from streams, but I haven't actually sat down and watched anybody play through the entirety of either DLCs. I've seen the boss fights, but not to the extent where I really have any idea what I'm going to be doing when I'm fighting them. I'm sure they're all going to fucking rock me because every one of them looks really hard. So, I have some information for sure, but I mean overall, I don't really know the areas to almost any degree. So it's going to be fun. It's just been such a long time since I'm going to be going into some amount of Souls content, having zero knowledge of what's around me. So you're gonna, you know, for the first time get to see me explore stuff without actually knowing where to go or what to do, who to talk to, where things are, all that shit. Okay, back to Firelink. So, I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to that aspect of it, of having fresh Souls content to go through that I'm not looking at a guide or going off the fact that I've played through it multiple times as my, you know, as my frame of reference here. So I'm very excited about that. And of course, we're going to have that same feeling going through Bloodborne, which I'm even more excited for. Oh, and I can't even remember if I've mentioned this before, but I've actually never played the first DLC for the DLC for the first Dark Souls. So that will have to happen eventually, as well.
Ashen One.
That should be pretty cool too. Let's go spend the rest of our souls on rusted coins. But yeah, you know, what I'm thinking is maybe when we do our PC games for Windows live Dark Souls playthrough, get the achievements there, we'll do the DLC.
Thanks, good.
Because I've never done that, like I said, and I think that would be a lot of fun. I've never had the chance to fight Artorias. As difficult as that may be to believe, I have never done that. There's 4 bosses in that DLC, right? See, like I said, you know, with the Ring City and Ashes of Ariandel, I know the bosses, but I don't actually know the maps of the DLCs, and that's even true for the first Dark Souls DLC. I can name every boss. There's Artorias, Manus, Calamite, and what's that white thing called? Sanctuary Guardian? Yeah. But I can't think of the environments outside of the boss fights. So it'll be cool to explore new territory. pull the switch from there to send it up. It's too bad. Alright, so I'm going to do one more pass through like that, and that's where we're going to stop the stream. I think that's enough of a showcase. You saw me get one, so at least you know that I'm doing it and how it works. So that if you look back on these and, you know, want to see how to do it for yourself, you'll know what I did. It'd be nice if we could get at least one invasion, and even if it isn't successful, just so you can see it happen. But I'm just assuming with the lack of players, as well as doing this at 4 in the afternoon, that it's probably not going to happen. Yeah, what the heck. One more pass. Try to make it an even 45 minutes. Okay. Let's replenish our rusted coins there. I figure if we do another pass, we'll be able to get another chunk of souls to level up with. We can sell all of our armor too. Hey Prophet, what's up? Yeah, unfortunately we are farming for proof of a Concord caps. Yeah, it's super slow going. Which is to be expected at this stage in the game. We have 7. We've done our Sunlight Metals, Vertebra Shackles, Pale Tongues, and Wolf's Blood Sword Grass. So we have just our proofs and human dregs that remain. I'm not going to be streaming the entirety of the Covenant item farming, because I post all of this stuff to YouTube after I'm done streaming, and I want to have a little bit of it on record. Just so you can see every aspect of what I do in the run. However, after I do a little bit of this, I'm taking a break for a few hours, but we're going to come back and we're actually going to play the DLCs for the first time. Just for fun. It has nothing to do with actually trying to get all the achievements. But I just picked up the Season Pass when it was on sale the other week, and I haven't played the DLCs for this game before. So we're going to take this character into them and see how I do. And then once I finish both the DLCs, we'll come back and finish up the last 2 playthroughs required to get all of the achievements. For a second there, it looked like I was going to line up the sound effect of the rusted coin with when Irithyll popped up on screen. That would have been pretty cool. Please don't jump back anymore. That's fine. Just really didn't want to have you die and me not be able to retrieve whatever your body drops. Which wouldn't have mattered anyway. Okay. Fuck. Thought I had that roll. And I can't stop thinking about how I gave up that symbol of avarice. I'm glad I was able to help somebody out. Yeah, it's one of my original viewers, I believe. Yeah, it was. So it was nice to help him out. He's a good dude. But it's times like these where I really regret doing that. Okay. So that's going to be our final pass for this stream for now. So yeah, for the future, we're gonna cut it off here.
Very well, then
Level up. Take a brief break. And then I'm gonna, most likely, if I don't come back tonight, it's gonna be tomorrow, 100%. I'll be back tomorrow. And we're gonna kick off with the Ashes of Ariandel DLC. We can keep our Blade of the Darkmoon Covenant equipped in the hopes that we, you know, maybe get some pickups going through the DLC, but we're gonna deviate from doing pretty much anything achievement related, and we're just gonna kick back, relax, take our time, and have fun going through the DLC for the first time. I'm very excited for it. I hope that it is decent, although I do have my preconceived notions going into it, both gameplay-wise and story-wise. You know, but we will address these things as they come up. Yeah, so that's that. So now you got a little glimpse into the incredibly enjoyable, it's full of sarcasm there, Blade of the Darkmoon Covenant farming for proof of a Concord kept. Yeah, so got 2, right? 1, 2? I think just 1. That's miserable. So 45 minutes, we got 1. That's going to be the average for the rest. It's going to be a pretty painful road to it. But anyway, we're going to clear our head of that with some DLC, and that should be fun. So I want to thank you for watching, and hopefully I will see you next time.